the North they use this argument, we have the numbers, etc. Take the middle belt out, where are the numbers? They know they don't have the numbers, sir. They know it. But of course, for propaganda purposes, they use that argument, we have the numbers, we can do it.
Okay, Dr. Poku, real quickly. I also, in about 2 minutes, I also want you to interrogate the concept of numerical advantage of the North. You said something earlier on.
That is what makes me laugh, sir.
You said that the British used the middle belters to shore up the numbers in the North. Let's talk about numerical advantage. The North and numbers.
Yes. Thank you. The North they use this argument, we have the numbers, etc. Take the middle belt out, where are the numbers? They know they don't have the numbers, sir. They know it. But of course, for propaganda purposes, they use that argument, we have the numbers, we can do it. Now, the North, the British wanted the North to remain monolithic for some reason. They wanted it because they wanted to hand over power to the North. And they used middle belters to beef up the population of the North before independence. And though before independence, if you look at the population, go back to history, all these things are there, you can Google and see. The Southeast and Bamenda had the highest population, followed by the Southwest and the North, that is including the middle belt, had the third population in terms of numerical strength. However, the British wanted to hand over to the North and therefore denied the middle belters a region for themselves. Though after independence, the southern minorities were given Midwestern region for also political consideration, which now we know as used just to whittle down the strength of the Southwest. But all the same, we who consider ourselves middle belters going down history and memory lane are saying we are not northerners. We are middle belters. And the North has always considered us that way anyway. When it comes to such consideration as North, they say all of us as North. But when it comes to appointments and other considerations, they don't consider us as North. So why should this hypocrisy continue? Let them just say, we are middle belters, they are northerners. Let everybody be who he is.
I am very happy that we, Igbo Unification Movement, in the last 2-3 years, has stirred up what they call identity revolution throughout the whole Nigeria. In 2022-2023, when we started talking that we, the Igbos in Delta State, want to unify with our brothers in Southeast, a lot of criticism, a lot of people started insulting hell out of us. A lot of people say it's not possible. You cannot change the narrative. Little do they know that we are going to cause a general revolution, a turnaround, and seeking for validation. Every tribe, every ethnic group, every region are beginning now to show who they are. Today, there's a revolution going on in the middle belt. There's a revolution going on in the northern Nigeria. Apart from the issues of Boko Haram and the ISWAP and the Fulani herdsmen and other terrorist groups that are making the Hausas to believe they are different from the Fulani, that are making the Christian North to believe they are different from the Muslim North. Apart from that, people are beginning to say this is who we are and we don't want you to change it. If you remember, there's a video of this man.
In the Nigeria of today and probably of tomorrow, nobody knows. Identity is very important. I, Tunde Tobi Asaju, has always been known, will always be known as a Yagba man. So my tribe, if you still believe in tribes, is Yagba. My language is Yagba. I am not an appendage of any other ethnic group, nationality, or language. My language, which is Yagba, is not a dialect of any other language, whether living or dead. This is how I wish to be identified, as a Yagba man. I don't want anybody asking me questions about, whether my language or my tribe is related to another group. I am a Yagba man. I was born a Yagba. I am living a Yagba. When I'm dead, I will still be a Yagba. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you, and no questions.
This man is a Yagba man who said he's Yagba in Kogi, that is not Yoruba. And he trended that period. But what this man is saying, forget about what he's saying, is because people like us have been online saying we are Delta truly by state, but we are Igbos. People now begin to say, hey, you are forcing Igbo to be this. Now, people are saying, this is who we are. Don't force us to be who we don't want to be. Don't force us to claim to we are Benin. We are not Benin descendants. We are Ndi Igbo. By culture, by language, by our name, by our village name, and by history. The narrative, we change it. But the funniest is that the narrative has changed to the point that the political landscape is changing. That video you watch was talking about a man saying that he's trying to narrate that the North does not have the population capacity to win an election. But you will not understand why the man said it. The confidence which they're saying that the North does not have the population to win the election is this. Watch this video.
Gifted personalities of social-political significance here with us. I am thrilled and enamored of the presence of the man who swore us, the revered barrister Oliver Gwajime Awal, a distinguished son of the Middle Belt, and of Directorate Cadre in the Police Service Commission. I will be very brief, but I want us to understand one thing. When we talk about the Middle Belt, when we talk about Pandem, when we talk about Ohalize Indigo, when we talk about Afenifere, it's all about consciousness, identity, and definition. Once upon a time, as a result of the collapse of the Alafinate of Oyo, the Egbas established the Egba Kingdom. And thereafter, there was a socio-political bloc referred to as the Egbados. And there was an attempt to impose imperial rule over the Egbados. But the Egbados woke up one day and said, no, we are no longer Egbados. We are Yewas. And they have remained Yewas till this day. From Ikokia to Emeko to Songota, they have defined themselves. Pay attention. There is a need for us to revisit the pre-independence legacy of Nigeria. Before the 1914 Act of Amalgamation, the colonial masters, we in the Middle Belt were referred to as the Central Sudanese territories. We were never defeated. We were never conquered. We were never subordinated. We were never subdued. And I am happy that there are theories all over the Middle Belt. In Bauchi, the Zangs now have their chiefdom. And more chiefdoms have been created in Adamawa State, from Hong to Song. More chiefdoms have been created to add to the Boatier Confederacy of Bachama, Pata, and Mbula. And it's happening all over the place. Because you can't force a name on us. I want to use this opportunity to say, I feel very bad. I was speaking to a friend. I said, from where are you? He said he is Jabba. I said, you cannot be Jabba. You are Ham. What is Jabba? Is that homo rat that smells? You want to answer the name that your oppressors gave you? You are Ham. Your king is the Pop Ham. Your national day is the Tukam day. So where did Jabba come from? And all these stereotypes, these tropes are all around. People are giving us names to make us feel inferior, to subordinate us. As the Yewas took a principled stand, as the Yewas said, we are no longer Egbado but Yewas. We, the polyglots, plurinational politics, ethnic nationalities on the Middle Belt say we are not North. We are Middle Belt. We have Muslims, we have Christians, we have pagan, and with this conclave, with this concourse, it's easy for a Nupe Muslim to become Mr. President. It's easy for a TV Christian, for an Idoma Christian, for a Taro Christian, for a Zal Christian, for an Ankwe, for a Gomai, for an Ibolo, for an Igbomina. It's possible for them to become Mr. President. Every time people superimpose and hate us, I want to make clear that we do not, and we never subscribe to the same socio-cultural historical nationalism. We are who we are. We conquered the land, brought it into other views. The carrying capacity of the Middle Belt is unparalleled, is unprecedented, is unequaled. We have everything. And one second insult is, you are a minority. From where did that come? Many Lilliputs have made themselves demographers. We are majority. You are man. And when you desegregate and deconstruct, you see that they are really the minority. Taken together from the federal capital territory of Abuja, which is now the political center of gravity of the Nigerian state. I want to assure you that if we come together like we have come together today, we are going to determine the occupant of Aso Rock presidential villa. We are going to determine governorates. We are going to determine ministers. We will do it. And people see it and they do not want us to come together. But Mali said they don't want to see us come together. They don't want to see us unite. All they want is to see us keep on fighting one another. From today, let it be on record. We will never fight one another. Amen. We will be together and we will always remain together. Amen. I want to assure you that.
Now, what does it tell you? This video that you watch showing that the Middle Belt are not trying to say they are different from the total North. And the Middle Belt comprises of 7 states, which is like Taraba, Nasarawa, Benue, Kogi, even Abuja is included. I think Niger State, and so, or Plateau. So you see that these states, 6 of them, including the federal capital, are now beginning to say that we are different, we are not North. And they don't want to accept North Central. They want to accept Middle Belt as their geopolitical zone. Don't you see? So we have been able to change the land scale. We have been able to change the dynamics of politics because people are now beginning to identify and want to play politics according to how it will favor not just their political zone, but their tribe, or whether they call them, although in Nigeria we have been able to accept there's nobody that is minority. Everybody is majority. It's not about the population. But we are saying even the small population are beginning to say, this is who we are. We don't want to associate with the North. We don't want to associate with the Fulani. We don't want to accept that narrative again. We have been able to change it. We have been able to cause revolution because we are the first and the foremost who started doing what they call identity identification videos. But that is not where I'm going to. Where I'm going to is the statement that this man made. Listen again.
Though before independence, if you look at the population, go back to history, all these things are there. You can Google and see. The Southeast and Bamenda had the highest population. The Southeast and Bamenda had the highest population. The Southeast and Bamenda had the highest population, followed by the Southwest and the North, that is including the Middle Belt, had the third population in terms of numerical strength. However, the British wanted to hand over to the North and therefore denied the Middle Belters a region for themselves.
You heard this man saying that before the independence, the Southeast are the major tribes in population in Nigeria. You see, there have been a lie peddled all this while that North has more population. But you see, that 2 video you watch shows that the North does not have population. They are using the the Guares, the Gbagis, the Birions. They're using those people, the TVs, the Doma, the Galas, to beef up the population of the north. And when we say population, the population of Hausa with the Fulani, they are using these tribes in the Middle Belt to beef it up. And today that these people have accepted no, it shows that truly that the Igbos are the major tribes. And even after the Civil War, the Igbos are still the major tribe. The problem you have is that you think land mass is equated to population. And this is the ignorance of Nigerian students, history students, geography students, who has not been able to understand that population is not equated to land mass. The fact that the North occupy a larger number of land does not mean they have more population than people. Let me give you an example. Russia population is 144 million as of 2025 edict. Russia is 144 million in population. Meanwhile, Russia land mass is 17.1 million kilometers square. 17.1 million km square. That should tell you Russia is like 17 times larger than Nigeria, because Nigeria is less than 1 million kilometers square. Nigeria is 923,000 square kilometer. Exactly. We not even reach 1 million, but Russia is 17. Yet the population of Nigeria is estimated to be 250 million as of 2025. 100 million larger than that of Russia. Yes, Russia occupy a space 16 million times than Nigeria. So land mass does not mean that you have more population. The fact that North occupy a larger North mass does not mean they have more population than the Igbos. Igbos still be the largest ethnic group in Nigeria, even after the Civil War. Because if you follow that man's statement, he's saying that Igbos is the largest, followed by the Yorubas and followed by the North. And they still use other people to beef the North. Now, if you remove the question of those people, you find out that the Igbos are the largest ethnic group in Nigeria. And this is where I'm going to. And these Igbos are talking about are not just the Igbos in the southeast, it's included to us who are Igbos in the south side, those in River State, few of them that is in Bayelsa, all Adama people that is in Delta, the ones that are in Cross River, the Sobo people in Cross River, the people in Akwa Ibom. Then you go to North Central, even that Middle Belt has some Igbos in Igalamela, in Kogi, and some part of OP in Benue. So if you combine this, you now understand how the Igbos are. We're not talking of the Igbos that travel. We are talking of the Igbo population, not by land mass, is the largest ethnic group in Nigeria. And until we start telling ourselves the truth, we will never get it right. Now, somebody will say, if Igbos are the major group, why are they not? No. Because Igbos are not domineering in nature. And this is where you are getting it wrong. I said it in one of my videos that the reason, one of the major problems I have this Nigeria is that the minority are ruling the majority. The minority, Fulani are the minority. Fulani is like the 6th ethnic group in terms of population in Nigeria. The 6th, but Fulani dominated the Hausas that are more populated than them. See now dominating even the Yorubas in the West. We thought this is happening. And wherever the minority are ruling the majority, it always comes with tyranny, with dictatorship, and with force. Because you can't subdue the majority without using force. This is what is happening in Nigeria. That is why we are having both religious conflict and political conflict. Because the minority want to rule the majority. So the Igbo still remain the major ethnic group in this country. Take it to the bank. And I'm the one telling you. I'm out of here, John. Mwah.